Hey folks, Liv here once again. Hope you enjoyed my revisit review slash rant on X-Men: The Last Stand. Yeah, don't completely hate the movie, but it's still a disappointment in my opinion. Forget that one's a huge misfire of a movie, but anyway, I already reviewed that. Now on to another Marvel review. Uh, this is another Marvel movie, another 2000. Welcome to another 2000 superhero. We're still in the year 2006. Now I did share my review by the way on the superhero review playlist. I did share my reviews of Superman Brand Attacks and Superman Returns. So if you're asking why I didn't review those, because Superman Returns did come out in June, but I've already done a review on that about I think like about 3 years ago on my other channel, and I did put it on the playlist on this channel, so you can see it on there. And for Superman Brand Attacks, if you want to know my opinion on those movies, it's on there. But anyway, this of course is a sequel I'm talking about as part of the eight Marvel animated features. I reviewed the first film, The Ultimate Avengers movie. Now I'm reviewing Ultimate Avengers 2, The Rise of Panther. Here, let me show you. I'm talking about Ultimate Avengers 2, The Rise of Panther, which I love the sequel. This was a great sequel. Yeah, you know, a good friend of mine pointed this out to me about the first movie when he commented on my Facebook post for the first film. Both films I think are really overlooked. These movies I think are overlooked. They're great Avengers movies in my opinion. They're really good. They're really entertaining. They're really fun. This is a lot better in my opinion than X-Men: The Last Stand and Superman Returns. Well, why? Because X-Men: The Last Stand, we do have a death in here that has more of an impact than Professor X, and it has a better story, I think, than X-Men: Last Stand and Superman Returns. So yeah, yeah, you may not have MCU, but Marvel at this time, well, with their animated movies, we're on top of things with their animated movies. But this is the sequel to the Ultimate Avengers movie, the first one, and this is the second film in the Marvel animated features, released in 2006. I think it was released on August 8th, 2006. Yeah. Yep, August 8th. Okay. For the cast, you have the cast coming back. You have well, wait a minute. You have Justin Gross as Steve Rogers, Captain America. Mark Warden as Tony Stark, Iron Man. Andre Ward as Nick Fury. Ray DeLisi as Janet Van Pam Dine. Pym, Wasp, Nolan North as Hank Pym, Giant Man, David Bode as Thor, Olivia Abdul as Natalia Romanoff, Black Widow, Fred Taskey as Hulk and Edwin Jervis, Massey, the late Michael Massey, as Bruce Banner, Nan Carney as Betty Ross, James K. Ward as Harry Cushing, Jeffrey D. Sams, who is a new character in this movie. We have in the sequel we have T'Challa, Black Panther in this movie, so I'm glad they added it. And Ken Perry plays a young T'Challa. Dwight Schultz as Odin, Mark Hamill, we have voice from Mark Hamill as Dr. Aller. Dave Finney, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, sorry. No, it's not nothing disgusting. I think it was toilet paper. I want to blow my nose earlier or something like that. Sorry. So I had to see that. Sorry. Apologize. But Mark Hamill, like I said, Joker from Batman the Anime Series. Susan Dillon as Nakina. Shatner Brand as Chief Elder. Yeah. And the plot for this movie is that. Oh, okay, never mind. Plot synopsis is that Captain America, the Hulk, Iron Man, and the other Avengers join forces to save mankind from alien invasion, which involves T'Challa, the Black Panther, that the aliens come back, the Sarate come back, they come back. Can't say the name of these fucking aliens, sorry, but the Shatara, they come back to claim the planet to take over the world, and Captain America, who has a personal vendetta against a man, well, he's not a man, but an alien named named Kishner, named Harry Kishner, who he fought, when he was in the 1940s, and then when he was in the war in the 1940s, that's where he got capped at sea and trapped for 60 years. And the aliens are planning to take over the world, and along with the help of a new ally, Black Panther, T'Challa, who also wants to, gain revenge as well for what happened to his father. They must team up with him and the Avengers. They have to team up together, and they have to defeat them and stop them from taking over the world. And there's some deaths along the way, some sadness along the way of that. But it is a good movie. It's a short film. It's only 71 minutes. Sorry, 73 minutes of a running time. It's a very short movie, about 1 hour and 14 minutes. But again, it's another short film, so it's not too long. Yeah. But like I said, I really enjoyed Ultimate Adventures 2, Rise of the Panther. I thought it was really a great sequel. In my opinion, and again, this is before we got the MCU. This is before we got, the Avengers 2012, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and again, this is all way before that. So, way before the MCU. Of course, Marvel was still doing, movies. Like I said, that year 2000 was X-Men Last Stand, which, yeah, I got mixed reviews from people, mixed reception, but it still did well at the box office. But of course, 2007 we would have more Marvel movies. Sorry, of course, you know. I think these two movies, Ultimate Adventures 1, 2, are the reason that at least we got some Marvel live action movies because these movies did well. I'm sure they're just overlooked, which isn't fair. But anyway, I could talk about the movie itself and give my final opinion on it. Before I do that, it is directed by Will Magnick, Richard Septis, the writers, the screenplay is Greg Johnson, storyboard Kirkland, Rick Kyle, Greg Johnson. Yeah. Anyway, get into it. So come over to two. So the opening happens with we see in Wakanda, the 14th African nation of Wakanda, which is the small city nation. They welcome home T'Challa, who went to America to learn about different cultures, stuff that his father wanted him to. He's the son of King T'Chaka, but the aliens show up as they're welcome him back and all that thing. And then T'Chaka realizes it tells her son not to come with him. Tells T'Challa, "Don't come with me. This is my responsibility." And he comes up in Black Panther. It's not the way it looks in live action, but it's still a good suit. His father goes out to fight, faces faces Kaiser. They fight. Kaiser stabs him a couple times, and and T'Challa shows up and says, "Dad, let me help you. Father, let me help you." And there's a bit of a fight that he stabs T'Chaka a few times, and before though he can hurt his son, T'Chaka tackles him down. They fall uh, down a cliff. T'Chaka dies, but Kessler, since he's an alien, he survives. And Black Panther's like, no, T'Challa's like, no, you know. So T'Challa inherits throne of his father. He becomes the new king of Wakanda. But even though some of the elders don't like him or just seem that, basically his father wanted him to change tradition, and they don't want to do that, so they don't trust T'Challa. But he swears vengeance against him, and he reads up on Kessler in the 1940s, and he finds out about Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's like Captain America, so he realizes he's got to go to America to talk to him. And then you have in the U.S. you have Captain America, who is fighting some bad guys, using his shield. I do like the moments when he throws his shield, he's kicking ass, he's nearly getting himself hurt. But Captain America has been reckless lately. Steve's been reckless. He doesn't really care if he dies or not. He's reckless. He's almost getting himself hurt. And they tell him, Black Widow and Natasha tells him, you need to stop doing this. It's not worth getting hurt. Steve, you're gonna get yourself hurt. Like, so what? So she goes tell Fury about it. He's like, I'm sorry, but I had to. And Fury says, "When you calm down, soldier. Soldier. It's been a 6-year-old deep freeze." You can't do that. You know, and he says if Fury even tells Natasha, if he keeps it up, I'm just gonna have to lock him up like Banner. And yeah, Bruce Banner remains locked up in the cell after his Hulk incident in the first movie, where he did fight the Chitauri, but he lost his temper real bad, couldn't control being the Hulk, and he almost killed him. So they had to restrain him, fight him, and they put him in a cell. And charges will probably be brought up against him for it, technically. And there's this doctor who was his ex-employer, employee. I guess he fired this guy. It was Dr. Ola. I think the actor's voiced by the character's voiced by, sorry. Well, character is voiced by Mark Hamill. He's like, Dr. Banner, why did you become the Hulk? Why? What made you lose control? And he tortures Banner by pressing this button. And Banner knows that he fired him. And I guess this doctor wants revenge, so he gets to somewhat torture him a little bit. With this gas that just passes him out, you know, so it'll stop him from becoming the Hulk. Betty Ross ends up discovering that the wreckage of the Chitauri ship has become mysterious to Britain. Hank Pym, Giant Man, he starts to be, yeah, he starts developing a sickness because he's overusing the Giant Man formula, but he's telling him he can do it. He's trying to go up to 60 feet, but it can't happen. And Jane Wasp tells him, "You need to be careful. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna die." And she's like, "So what?" So you and your ego needs to stop. And they bicker a little bit there. And when Betty Ross finds out about what the show is up to, that story might be back. They want to assemble the Avengers. You know, Giant Man is the one that we see. And then we get to Thor. Thor sees a possible future where the Avengers are dead. Like in this flashback of the dead, you see Iron Man. Skeletons of them being dead, getting killed. He sees this like vision of the future of what could happen to them. Of like seeing the Avengers dead, like Iron Man, Giant Man, and Natasha, and of course Captain America sees that what could happen, and goes talk to his father about it. Odin, he summons Odin, start Odin about it, and Odin's like, "There's nothing you can do for them. You shouldn't be involved in this." Like, it isn't my involvement, father. You know, I have to help. And Thor's not going to return to Asgard as his father wants him to. And see, dream that Steve is having a dream. Steve Rogers is having a dream of what Kessler did, of him getting the super soldier serum, of him being in the military, of him being in the 1940, in the 1945, 1945, I think, the war. And Captain America, yeah, you can see he's got prior post-traumatic syndrome, especially what happened to him when he happened in ice, and it's when he had a fight with Kessler, and he holds that man responsible. Well, the alien Kessler, responsible for what happened to his life. But meanwhile, he gets up against Black Panther, tries to get it's T'Challa in his Black Panther costume, trying to get him up. Cap is able to push him down a little bit, push him out the window. He tells him who he is, though, that he needs his help. That he T'Challa does anything. He asked him about Kessler. He told him about what happened in the military. He's like, anything you can give me, and we can form an alliance with you. But T'Challa refuses, as no one is allowed to come on Wakanda, but except the Wakandian, except the Wakandans themselves can only be in Wakanda. They don't like outsiders, so T'Challa says no, and T'Challa just jumps on a truck and goes away as Black Panther. I forgot to mention though, when his father becomes is with Black Panther, it's like his face can turn into an actual Black Panther cat. Yeah, in his fight with Kessler before he died. And Jerry tells them about the shard, the Shirati coming back and what they're gonna do, so we have to stop them. And Steve says, "I want to go alone." He's like, "No, we go as a team. No, I should go at this alone." You know. And even Hank says, "Let him go alone. Let him go get himself killed." Like, be quiet, Hank. You know. And Steve doesn't care. He just wants. He's so angry and wanting revenge. You could say. You know, and that's all. We gotta work as a team. But says Captain America could be reckless. He puts Natasha, Black Widow, he puts Black Widow in charge. So they illegally enter Wakanda. Uh, I do see wrong. Eventually, Black Panther finds them, and he tells them only Captain America comes to the city. Him and Captain America have to sneak around in the city. He tells Cap about his father. We did see a flashback of, you know, Shaw as a kid talking to his dad. But when he tells Captain America about his city's history, the heart of Wakanda, that's what the Shatari wants. You know, that his grandfather tried to make peace with Kessler, but Kessler didn't want peace, and the the, the Wakandians had to fight him. Wakanda had a war with them. And they beat them. But man, the Kessler and the Shatari, they want the heart, which can basically make them take over the world. So they want to get their hands on it. It's called the heart of Wakanda. But the Avengers try to sneak on there, and of course they get into a fight with the Avengers. Iron Man's like, Giant Man, he can fight them, but they're shooting like these arrows. And all these arrows is poison. And Jane comes by, she's like, get away from him, shooting her little sparks at them. And Iron Man tries to shoot his weapons at them, but they nearly, you know, fire at him. So you brought guns to a Bow Eric guns, and they're like, well, maybe I'm wrong, but Iron Man could be funny, Tony Stark could be a wisecrack. Until, Black Panther and them show up and get him stop fighting. But the Avengers are commanded to return to their ship. T'Challa, to the Council, I think they call it the Council of Wakanda, is the one that advises the king. They're kind of like Congress, I guess, in their world in Wakanda. They basically tell him, you know, they'll just tell him, you've been stripped of your ship. You're not a king anymore for allowing foreigners into the country. Captain America drives an injured Chitauri on the ship, uh, but he actually thinks that's Black Panther helping him out. Brings him on the ship. Is like, you bring us, Black Widow says, you're putting us in danger doing that. But it's not Black Panther. It's Kessler and shape shifted. Comes out. He steals Captain America's shield and he shores the ship. Iron Man gets battered too. He gets beaten up real bad. Jane gets hurt, really bad, nearly killed. But Thor, eventually comes to Nick Fury and he teleports them out of there. Walsh is left in a coma from the injuries. Steve is mad for what happened. He even tries to go to Hank and apologize, but he's like, "Yo, get out of here now. I'm not accepting your apology. Just get out of here." Meanwhile, a mothership hovers above Wakanda and entraps some of the entire planet. And there's also a scene, I'm sorry, I go over my review sometimes, where Banner's in the cell going through what he's going through, and Betty tries to talk to him, says, nobody trusts you no more. And he figures out something that he needs to tell Betty. He tells her about that there's a weakness in the vibranium that they can hit that can weaken them, the whole kit. And what happens is not just Wakanda. Well, it starts in Wakanda, but it starts the start attacking major cities on Earth, start killing people. I mean, people die. They have these weapons that come out of those big old hands, and they will evaporate you right away. Uh, since Tony can't have his suit from Jarvis, he has all his Mark 50 shoot Mark suits or whatever. He builds plenty. It's Tony Stark. Come on, he builds weapons. He's got a lot of Iron Man suits. So he gets the War Machine suit, which I have all the guns on it, which is a cool gun. Cool. costume as well. We don't get James Rhodey though in here. We don't get him. They end up teleporting to Wakanda, and Black Panther decides to help them out. It is real that they're seeking a gigantic meteor deep undercover, from which the Wakandians develop their advanced technology. Then he gets tells Betty to use a gamma, tells her about it. She uses a gamma generator to attack the aliens close range. It's like a gun that can take them down. The Chitauri gets his gets into his cell and he dies. He gets the Doctor Euler, the doctor who's been torturing him, to overdo it, and he nearly kills him. And he tries to run out of there, but the aliens kill him. And you know, Betty's like, Bruce, please don't die. You know, I love you. He's like, I love you too, Betty. And he dies, as you think. But while Spooky survives, she wakes up in this destruction, and they take a jet to Wakanda and they give Iron Man the gamma radiation. Giant Man. She doesn't want to talk to Hank because of their bickering, but he's like, I gotta do it. So he turns in. I guess he's like, yeah, man. He shrinks. So him and Thor has to open up the gate. Open up the portal so they can get inside the bubble. Whatever you want to call it. They get in there. Meanwhile, the Avengers, you have like Black Widow using her guns, which is really badass, and Captain America and Black Panther are taking on Kessler in a fight. He tries to Captain America shield him. She was like, that's definitely. He's like, I'm not giving up this time. Yeah, they're right. That's right. And he attacks him. They fight. Bruce Banner's left his body. He eventually becomes the Hulk, and he wakes up to fight the alien invaders. We don't see a whole lot of it, but you know. And Captain America, well, eventually T'Challa gets mad as Black Panther gets mad. Becomes the face of a real Black Panther and attacks him, bloodies him. He's like, "Oh, you Fuji," and then he turns to his bigger alien form. War Machine and I mean Iron Man. Sorry, Iron Machine, Iron Man and Giant Man. They end up. Well, Hank grows big again, fight some of the aliens, or he probably did that before. Sorry, but Iron Man is able to destroy the core of the gamma generator. But Giant Man's able to lead him to pass out, and he has to be carried back to the ground. You know, because Iron Man has to actually because he's bigger and he gets knocked out. So Iron Man, has to push the button on the from the shrink back. He's like, "I got you, buddy." He grabs him. Iron Man travels along to divert the crashing mothership away from the city. It works, but it does hurt his life support, and he almost dies. But Thor is able to use some of his power of electricity to bring him back to life. And he's like, "Wow, you really are a god." Uh, the Captain America, they're eventually able to defeat Kessler, and after that, the Avengers win. They core works. They destroy the core, and it destroys the aliens. Star for good. But sadly, Giant Man, Hank Pym dies, and T'Challa he gets his throne back. He gets restored. You do see Hope sees Betty down there, and she knows that he's probably turned back into Hulk when she sees him live, of course. But looks like Betty's hiding. He can't just go down with the Avengers because they might put him back in his prison. So I guess Banner, if he's in the right mind of being Hulk, I think the reason he went out of his mind because he took too much of the serum on himself. But he's back to Banner, back to being Hulk. Hulk is not a killer. He's a monster, but Banner is not a murderer or anything like that. He just kind of over get himself a serum desperate to get a cure. He just and I can assume Banner by the end of the movie just goes, jumps away as Hulk, probably just to go hide, to be on the run, as he would usually do. Banner would do, and probably find a cure for himself the right way this time. Yeah, and Jackman's death was pretty sad. When he passed away, that was a sad scene, and it was very impactful. That's what I'm saying. It had an impact. You really care for the team. Yeah, yeah. This is how you do it right. X Men Last Stand. How you have an impact. You know, but Steve and Natasha kind of like taunts Tony or whatever, like before when they first met, and Iron Man and Tony and Tony, Betty, and Janet, they just kind of like each other just because they're gonna miss Hank. And Natasha goes to Steve, apologizes for what happened, because I know you were right. You know what? We need to. He says to forget the past. He's living now. I guess you can say after defeating Kessler, he says to become better, and that he needs not for long. Become better man. He doesn't touch her, and he shares a kiss with her, and you can see they start a romantic relationship. The world celebrates the victory over the Chitauri, and it is with Thor and Nick Fury. But it's the difference. He's like, "Come on, man, let me, bud, let me get you a beer." And they drink some beer, and he tells him about some story about his past, and then the movie ends there as the Avengers win the day. So yeah, and that's Ultimate Avengers 2. Yeah, but let me give my final opinion on this movie real quick. So my final opinion on Ultimate Avengers 2 is that I love this movie. This was a great sequel. This and the first movie are both, I think, great movies. They're both really good. I enjoy both films. I love that poster too. Really good little poster here. Yeah, Rise of the Panther. Really great movie. Love the poster, by the way. Um, First of all, the story was really good. I like that they added Black Panther in here. Cool to see T'Challa in here, Wakanda, the Chitauri come back, and what Captain America was going through his, post-traumatic stress syndrome, you call it, or PSD, whatever you want to call it, for soldiers that go through that. Captain America's a big deal, being trapped for 60 years, and he's angry. He wants revenge. He wants to go out on his own. It seems like he doesn't care about his life that much, But he does want at the end to learn to do teamwork. Eventually becomes better. I bought him and Black Widow fall in love. I wouldn't buy it in the live action of the MCU, even though in Captain America Winter Soldier they do share a kiss, but to do a distraction, they do it as a diversion. But in here they do fall in love, and that's believable. I did feel sorry for Hank Pym, Giant Man. It was sad when he died at the end. It was really good impact at the end. Thor was great in here as well. Seeing the future and stuff. Iron Man was awesome. Cool to see Iron Man in action and Captain America in action and Black Widow herself doing some badass stuff, being a team lead, and Bruce Banner as well. You feel sorry for Bruce that what he'd done. You know, all you can do is still feel sorry for the man. He just didn't want to become a monster. He just accidentally became one by supposed to gamma ray. But they do good with him in here. You know, it's got good action. The action's good. The animation is still great. I love the animation here. It's like updated 2D animation here. It's not 3D animation or anything, or CGI animation. It's just regular animation, 2D animation, I should say. But the voice cast is great. The people that do the voices are still great. The action is good. Uh, the Chitauri look good in animation as well. Uh, Kessler was a great villain in here who wants to take the Avengers down. But it's a well-made animated movie. It's only 1 hour and 14 minutes long. It's only just 73 minutes, so it goes by at a really good pace. It's a good story. It's a simple story to follow. It's an interesting story. It's a good film. It goes by at a good pace. It's very fun to watch. It's just very entertaining and awesome to watch. Yeah, it's not as long as the live-action Avengers movie or a bit longer, but they're good too. I love those films as well, the live-action ones, and this was great too. you know. And I think in the way these animated movies were a good idea for Marvel to do, because it might keep Marvel going with, because before this, you had Elektra that sucked, and then you have Blade Trinity, which sucked. So they needed some animated movies that were good, and I mean, before I needed these films a little bit because in live action, Marvel movies really getting mixed or bad reviews at the time. I do like the Fantastic Four 2005 film though, but critics hated it then. But not anymore, I'm sure. It's gonna become a cult film. But I love that movie. Sue me. Grew up watching that. And X Men Last Stand, like I said, I didn't care for X Men Last Stand. I think this is better than X Men Last Stand. You know, yeah. Okay, yeah, we don't get to see much of Hulk. Maybe that's the problem I have. I wish we would have saw more of Hulk. But again, I understand. That's why Hulk was hiding and had to go away because they couldn't really, yeah, because of what happened with Banner. But despite that, though, you get to see the whole team as live action, and it's a good story. I like how they add Black Panther in here. T'Challa, it was a good idea to bring him in here. Maybe if they made a third movie, which I wish they did make Ultimate Avengers 3, I would have probably liked to see Spider Man maybe, or Doctor Strange come into play. That'd have been cool to have more characters and more sequels, but we never got that sadly, because I think these films do get overlooked, you know. Yeah, which sucks. But they're awesome Avengers movies, and that's all I can say about it. But both are awesome films. I highly recommend them. Yeah. And my rating for Ultimate Avengers 2, Rise of the Panther, I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. And my rating for Ultimate Avengers 2, Rise of the Panther is I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 stars. Yes, a great movie, good animation, and I did highly give it a thumbs up. I highly recommend checking it out. If you love the Avengers, or you love Marvel, then definitely check out Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2. Yeah, watch both movies. Both movies are really good, in my opinion. I highly recommend both films. Yeah, both are great movies. Both are really good to watch. So, again, I highly recommend them. So, good films, great movies, in my opinion. But anyway, that's my rating for that movie for the movie. Um, we got I think 3 more 2006 movies. Yeah, this one next one will be a live action movie. Then I got 2 animated movies, but they're not Marvel though. What was like this film starts the next review, the next 2000s era superhero review. Okay, it's starring Tim Allen, I think Courtney Cox, pretty good cast in here. Chevy Chase is in this movie too, and that film is called Zoom, Academy for Superheroes, or just Zoom, whatever you call it. But love this movie. I'm really enjoying this film. But anyway, so next will be my review. So stay tuned for my next review, 2000 era super review. Zoom, starring Tim Allen, Academy for Superheroes. So this will be next. So stay tuned for that. Sorry about the glare. The Zoom is next. All right, guys. So in the comments down below, please tell me what do you think of Ultimate Avengers 2 in your opinion. Again, my rating for the film is thumbs up and 5 out of 5 stars. So guys, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of Ultimate Avengers 2 in your opinion? What do you think of this sequel? And I'll be looking forward to my next 2000 super review that is Zoom, Academy for Superheroes. And this will be coming next. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.